Happy New Year. And this is part 2 of a 2-part series. In part 1, we did our mock lottery 1.0 to start the 2024 year, and we just covered the lottery. And in this episode, we are going to share our thoughts or make picks 15 through 30. I'm sure it's going to be controversial. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are wondering what in the world are we thinking. But hey, everybody's mock drafts was totally different, and this class is wide open. So stay tuned to find out who just missed the lottery and will get selected in the first round. And there's going to be some guys that you probably like that did not make our first round. So stay tuned to find out who we select in picks 15 through 30. Big shout out to each and every person that's made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. And in this case, I hope it's your first listen of the new year. So again, like I mentioned in the open, Happy New Year. Big thank you to each and every person that supported us and listened to the podcast or watched on YouTube in 2023. I have big visions for 2024. I want this podcast to take off. I want it to be better. And thank you for listening. Again, NBA Draft Podcast. We are your source every single day, 5 days a week, covering the NBA Draft. So be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, like, share, comment. And before I get into this episode, I want to let you know that it is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. And right now, if you are a new customer, if you are a brand new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. All right, this is part 2. So I'll give you a recap of part 1. If you missed the first episode, please check it out. We had the San Antonio Spurs selecting Nikola Topic, number 1. That was James's choice. And we did every other pick. And we made a couple trades here and there. We swapped out. But at number 2, I took Alex Sarr for the Atlanta Hawks. At number 3, the Detroit Pistons selected Zachary Risacher. Not the Detroit Pistons selected. James selected Zachary Risacher for the Detroit Pistons. I took Matas Bazulis at number 4 to the Memphis Grizzlies. Ron Holland went number 5 to the Washington Wizards. The Charlotte Hornets, I gave them Jacoby Walter. The biggest surprise of episode 1 was Tyler Smith going number 7 to the Portland Trail Blazers. Another big surprise was Rob Dillingham going number 8 to the San Antonio Spurs. At number 9, I had the Utah Jazz selecting Cody Williams. I had the Chicago Bulls selecting Stephon Castle. And James had the Golden State Warriors, another surprise. The Portland Trail Blazers via the Golden State Warriors selecting T-John Salon. I had the Houston Rockets adding frontline depth and defense in Donovan Clingan. And James gave the Oklahoma City Thunder Ethan Almanza. And then the last pick, I had the New Orleans Pelicans swinging for the fences. Well, maybe it's not that big of a gamble, but taking Kel'el Ware from Indiana. All right, so James is on the clock. And at number 15, it is the Phoenix Suns. If you are the Phoenix Suns, who are you taking at number 15? I feel like anybody that can come in and can contribute off the bench fits here. Who would you take at 15?
Reed Sheppard out of Kentucky.
So you're taking Reed Sheppard out of Kentucky at number 15 for the Phoenix Suns. Why do you think Reed Sheppard would be a good fit for the Suns?
Perfect situation for him and the Suns. You're playing alongside all-stars, superstars, yep. Right? We need you to defend. We need you to make shots. We need you to move the ball. It's like it's a no-brainer to me. Eric Gordon is 35.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Eventually, it's going to become. Durant's got a lot of years left on his deal, but Eric Gordon is older. I don't know what Grayson Allen's contract situation is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does have if he doesn't have a lot of years left on his deal, like he could get paid because he's like 50, 40, 90 right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like Reed Sheppard is a seamless fit because he can play off the ball. He can be that kind of point guard you need to play alongside a Devin Booker, a Kevin Durant, a Bradley Beal when you want to mix those lineups. He should be able to guard ones and some twos. So I feel like that's an easy choice for me to make. Didn't even sweat.
All right, I got an easy one for me. At number 16, I have the New York Knicks selecting Kevin McCullough from the University of Kansas. I think McCullough would be a good fit for the Knicks. He's ready to come in and play right away. He defends. He's shooting the ball well. I mean, he's a guy that before this year, I think his highest three-point percentage was like 31. He's up to the high 30s. I don't think he shot the ball. I don't think he made a three in the Wichita State game this weekend. But he's someone that I think can come and contribute right away. He plays defense. Now, he's not a CAA guy, so that could be a reason why he doesn't go to the Knicks because, I mean, it seems like their whole team is represented by CAA.
Isn't OG a clutch guy, though?
No, OG switched from clutch to CAA this summer. I think that's why the deal got done, which is weird because the Knicks and the Raptors are suing each other, but they somehow made a trade. But I have Kevin McCullough. Like I said, I think he can come in and help. I think he can play a little bit of, not necessarily be like your point guard, but he can initiate the offense. I believe that Kevin McCullough can play a similar role to what Dante Exum is playing for the Dallas Mavericks right now. Play your 1, 2, 3, defend multiple positions, just be a connective tissue and glue guy. So that was an easy choice.
I like that, Rob. I see you out here, brother.
All right, I got a tough one for you, the Indiana Pacers.
It's not tough, though. This is going to be easy for me. We talked about this. All right? Pacers can't guard anybody right now. What did Rick Carlisle say? Your girlfriend can't guard anybody? Well, we got to get a defender there in the front court. I'm going to go with Ryan Dunn for the Pacers. All right? Tyrese is a magician. He can make anybody score. We'll get him in position. And with him playing the 4, right, and Miles being a stretch 5, he can play that kind of dunker position. And maybe he learns how to shoot some threes and stretch the floor. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the best defender in college basketball, Ryan Dunn. Let's hope the upside happens here in Indiana.
That makes sense. I like that pick. All right, I'm on the clock. At number 18, it is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if I am the Cleveland Cavaliers, man, a lot of it's going to depend on what happens with Donovan Mitchell. I think they're good at the point guard spot. I mean, I love Darius Garland's game. I love Craig Porter Jr., what he's done. I mean, the goal for this year is to find or identify who is the next Craig Porter Jr. If I'm Cleveland, I'm going to add some depth at the wing. It's a guy that has seen his draft stock plummet, but I'm going to hope that, maybe he gets the Kentucky bump. Maybe he just wasn't in the right situation. But if I'm Cleveland, I'm going to select Justin Edwards at number 18. It's a swing for I wouldn't say it's a swing for the fences. It's just a situation where you hope that he was in the wrong situation and he lives up to the expectations that he had coming into the season. If you're Cleveland, if someone told you at the beginning of the year that you'd have a chance to get Justin Edwards, you'd either figure something went wrong, which in this case something did. But if I'm the Cavaliers, I'm selecting Justin Edwards at number 18.
Yeah, I don't think I went there.
All right, you're on the clock for the Pelicans. I had the Pelicans selecting Kel'el Ware last time. It's on you, brother.
This is tough. All right, look, this guy is fallen enough. And you know what? He's fallen enough. I think he's too good. This is probably not realistic. I don't think he's going to fall this far, but I'm going to go Isaiah Collier here. CJ McCollum is what? 33? 34? We're going to go we need a point guard for the future. I like Grand Theft Auto Alvarado, but he's not a point guard of the future. So, again, we can sit here and say, well, Zion, we don't know what the future looks like with Zion. I'm a huge Zion fan still, but, we're going to go Isaiah Collier. And, yeah, we'll see if he can figure it out. Playing next to because if Brandon Ingram is there, even if Zion's there in the long term, you don't need your point guard to be the best playmaker because those two guys are going to draw all the attention. However, that shooting is going to have to improve. So I'm going to go with Collier here for the Pelicans.
Yeah, I mean, he could begin his career as their backup point guard and be like the change of pace guard off the bench. I mean, to me, that's a good situation as far as team-wise. May not be the best situation for him because, just a few weeks ago, we thought he was a guy that was going to get the keys to somebody's franchise. We talked about how Chicago would be a good fit for him, but his draft stock has fallen significantly over the last few weeks. All right, the last pick before we get into the break, it is the New York Knicks on the clock again. And if I'm the New York Knicks, I'm going to go with Aaron Bradshaw. Right now, the Knicks, they need some depth at center. Right now, of course, Mitchell Robinson, you expect him to be healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein is pretty good. But I think Aaron Bradshaw would be a steal if you get him at number 20. You got a vertical lob threat. You got an athletic 5 that can shoot. I think him and Mitchell Robinson, if they're like your backup 5 combination, and maybe if Bradshaw can space the floor, like I think he can, maybe he can play some 4. He can mix and match with some lineups. So I think it would be absolute steal for the Knicks to get a 5 that can protect the rim, space the floor, like Aaron Bradshaw. And I don't even think he'd be in this position at number 20 if he were healthy to start the year.
That's fair.
All right, when we return, we'll do picks 21 through 25, and then we'll wrap up the rest of the first round and the last segment. Stay tuned. The NFL season is wrapping up, but there is still time. There's still plenty of time to get in on the action with FanDuel, which is America's number one sportsbook. And right now, if you are a new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed, and all you have to do is place a $5 bet. That is $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose, the app is super easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet. You can use live game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab. You can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub. And the best way to find popular parlays is in the Parlay Hub and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is covering the top sports of the day with the Locked On local experts and our national shows that cover every league. So go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever 24 hours a day, 7 days a week streaming channel. Again, Locked On Sports Today. All right, second segment, we left off with the New York Knicks. I had them selecting Kentucky big man Aaron Bradshaw. Next on the clock is the Miami Heat, who absolutely struck gold last year with Jaime Jaquez. If you're the Miami Heat, based off of what we know today, who are you taking at number 21?
They're going to strike gold again. I'm really, really high on this young fella. I don't have him falling this well. I don't have him this far down on my big board. Big board and my draft are two different things.
Yep.
So I'm going with Bub Carrington out of Pitt. I feel like he is probably the second best passer in this draft. I think he's being slept on. I think that his playmaking, his scoring, his off-the-dribble shooting are only going to improve. And you put him in that Miami system, that Miami culture that Udonis has him was raving about, saying it's the toughest thing ever.
I just thought about, who has UD mixed it up with? Has he swung on anybody before?
He was supposed to swing on Jimmy Butler, but they teammates.
So it's like he gets the tough guy. Not saying that, he's not, but I'm just like, Draymond gets called a fake tough guy. We seen him choke dudes out. We seen
Draymond has at least 9 fights on his resume.
But we ain't seen UD. And you can't say, ain't nobody mess with Draymond, and that's why, he's not. Draymond initiates the fights.
Some people, Draymond, he's fake tough. No, Draymond is real tough.
Hey, all I know is whenever Draymond does something crazy, I have yet to see anybody's teammate come to their defense. Maybe Artest when he was young, but my man choked Rudy out and nobody pinched him.
Yeah, he should have got touched for that. But no, with the Heat, I'm going Carrington. Man, like I said, I think he's a great passer, man. I think he can shoot off the dribble. I think playing with those guys where he doesn't have to be like a full-time lead point guard playing next to Hero and Butler and Jaime Jaquez and Bam. Come on now, yeah. And then there's just the need at the point guard position for Miami. Kyle Lowry is the same age as me, man.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good one. All right, I'm back on the clock. I have the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta needs defense. And I'm going to go with a guy that has seen his draft stock rise again. It's like it was high, then it fell. I'm going with the local hometown guy from Omaha, Nebraska. I think the Atlanta Hawks could use Hunter Salas, an athletic wing that can defend. He's shooting the ball well, so I would go with Hunter Salas for the Atlanta Hawks.
I like that, man. I like Hunter, and he's a 3-level scorer. He's putting together some good film. Man, his assist numbers don't really show it, but he's made some like dynamic passes this season.
And, Gonzaga was trying him at the 1 for a little bit, and so I think it didn't show there, but I think that experience where they were trying him at the 1, I think it has helped develop his game a little bit.
Hey man, he's a hometown guy, but like I'm buying his tape, sold on it for sure.
All right, Orlando Magic. Do you have anyone based off of their roster now? Of course, things could change by draft time that could crack their rotation. It's tough.
Yeah, this one is really really tough. But I'm going to go off of their biggest need right now. This is, man, Orlando's a weird team, man, because like they don't really play a point guard, right? Because Franz and Paolo handle the ball all the time. Suggs was drafted to be a point guard, and now he's just a Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
Then they draft Anthony Black. He's the same thing. He's a Swiss Army knife. I'm going to go here with Dalton Connect because he's a shooter and he's 6'7". And you know what? If Mosley, wants to throw out 6'9", 6'7", 6'7", 6'8", I mean, why not Dalton Connect? He can shoot. And he's more than a shooter. But on that team, you just told him to stand in the corner and pop threes, and that's what their biggest need is. I'm riding with Connect right here.
I like that.
Hey, I'm cooking right now with the second one, man. Come on now, mess with me, Rob.
All right, if I am the Oklahoma City Thunder at pick number 24, the team is loaded. I mean, you got a bunch of picks. You can swing for the fences. You can...
Uh-oh, don't do this, Rob.
I'm swinging for the fences. Here's the guy that I like. I think I'm higher on him than everybody, probably other than his family members. I'm going with Trenton Flowers, who's playing for the Adelaide 36ers in the NBL. We're talking 6'8", athletic, can shoot the ball. They were trying him at the point guard earlier in the season. That experiment failed significantly. But just the fact that they thought he could be a point guard at 6'8" tells me that he does have some passing instincts, and they think that he could develop into that down the line. If you're the Thunder, you're... Like I said, you can swing for the fences. You have a gazillion picks. You can develop him in the G League. Maybe you do want to try him at the point guard. I mean, you liked Giddey as a big point guard. Not saying he's going to have Giddey's feel, but if you like a big initiator that can shoot the ball, that's athletic, Trent Flowers is who I would go with. So that's my surprise. You had a couple shockers in the first episode, but I'm going with Trent Flowers.
All right, that's tough, man. That's really tough. You put me in a bind.
Why, you had him?
No, I didn't. It's a tough. I'm in a bind right now. I have the Nuggets.
You got the Nuggets. Well,
all right. So look,
you can either go with a vet or you can go with somebody that's a project that you can develop. I mean, I think you're in a good situation.
Check this out, right? We got Nikola Jokic in Denver, so there's really nothing we can do wrong here.
Yep.
All right. I'm going with an athletic shooting guard. Again, I don't expect him to be a playmaker, not a full-time one. But you know what? We're going to go with A.J. Mitchell, man. Out of Cal Santa Barbara. Check this out. Again, we playing off of Jokic. Hey, he comes off a Jokic handoff, he's going to get downhill. He's a good enough passer to make that secondary read, right? Again, that buys me some minutes because, I don't really want Jamal Murray playing more than 60 games in the regular season. Got to take care of those knees. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want him to get his All NBA.
Nah, we good on All NBA, man. We trying to win champions.
I'm talking about for him.
Yeah. We good.
He may want that bonus. It's like 20, 30, 40, 50 extra $1 million.
I get it, man. That'd be cool for him, but we trying to win championships, man. We have a good thing going. But I'm gonna go AJ Mitchell. Again, I don't feel like you need a backup point guard with Jokic. You just need somebody who can make a good read here and there. right? And then right now they're running Reggie Jackson. You know,
Yep.
Reggie's getting up there in age a little bit too. So we'll go with AJ Mitchell out of Cal Santa Barbara Athletic. He's been rising up the ranks. He just needs to shoot some more threes though, for sure.
I like him a lot. I mean, if you had to go and say who is the best point guard in college basketball right now, you'd have to. I mean, if you think he's a point,
I think he's a combo.
you have to put him up there, and he's better right now than guys that are going to be drafted ahead of him. All right, when we return, we have 5 more picks to wrap up round 1, so it's going to be interesting to see who makes the last 5. All right, when we return, we're going to make picks for the Philadelphia 76ers, the Indiana Pacers again. We got the Milwaukee Bucks, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Boston Celtics. Stay tuned to find out who are our last 5 picks for Mock Draft 1.0. All right, before we get into the last segment, we got to talk to you about PrizePicks, because PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. It is the easiest and the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And all you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, and you are just going against the projected numbers. You're not playing against the bots. You're not playing against the experts. It is just you versus the numbers. And what I like about PrizePicks that really piqued my interest is they have combo leagues. So with the combo league, you can do, for example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combination of 3-pointers made and receptions. And then PrizePicks also allows you to play with some celebrities like Meek Mill or Andrew Schultz. And then they also have an insurance policy. I don't know any other platform that has an insurance policy. So if you have a player that gets injured in a football or basketball game, he gets injured in the first half, he gets rebooted until the next game. So that is one of the reasons why PrizePicks is the best daily fantasy sports platform. So check it out. Go to prizepicks.com. You have to use the promo code LOCKEDONNBA, and it must be in lowercase. But if you use the promo code LOCKEDONNBA in lowercase, you can get a first deposit match up to $100. Again, prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA in lowercase. And you can get a first deposit match up to $100. All right, last segment. I am on the clock, and I am drafting for the Philadelphia 76ers. I have a couple picks in mind, man. I'm torn between these two, but I'm going to go with BYU swingman Jackson Robinson. He has good size at 6'7". He can shoot the ball, whether it's coming off screens, spotting up. When you got Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, you need shooting. And even though this is year 4 for him, he is younger than Brandon Miller, who was the second pick in last year's draft. I think with Jackson Robinson, I don't want to call it a mistake, but he started school super early. We always talk about guys that are reclassified, that were older, freshmen. He was younger, and I think that played a role in him not necessarily being ready to contribute. He went to 2 schools, Texas A&M and Arkansas, but found the right fit at BYU. And in this case, for a guy that's been to 3 schools and that's a 4th-year guy, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he is so young. So I got Jackson Robinson going to the Philadelphia 76ers and knocking down wide open shots, which is what he's going to get playing with Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
Interesting.
I'm cooking.
You cooking right now? Man.
All right. You are on the clock. You got the Indiana Pacers again. You had him selecting Ryan Dunn at number 17. So at number 27, you're the Pacers. Who are you taking? Uh-oh.
This is hard, man. All right. I was going to go with a big, but I changed my mind. We need defense. Let's say the Pacers are like, you know what? Bruce Brown, let's sell high on Bruce Brown, right? I think Buddy's got to be at the end of his deal. And Buddy like 30 on the low.
Yeah.
All right, so Buddy Hield is low-key 30 years old. Again, we can't guard a chair right now. I'm going to go with an OG in the draft and go Devin Carter out of Providence.
Oh.
Now, he's going to have to prove to me that shooting stroke is legit because he's shooting a cover off that ball right now. And this is his first year shooting that high of a clip. And I think he's a sub 70% free throw shooter as well. So I'm still, he's growing on me. But again, shooter, defender.
He's like getting a block and a steal per game.
And he's averaging 8 rebounds a game at the guard spot. Right? So, again, I'm thinking we eventually got to play some defense. And no, Ryan Dunn can't shoot, but Devin Carter looks like he can shoot. I'm going to go Devin Carter out of Providence.
Okay, that was different. That was someone that I wasn't expecting. I like it. I like it.
I've been in the lab, bro.
I like it. All right. With pick number 28, I am selecting for the Milwaukee Bucks. And if I am the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm torn. Do I go with someone that can come in and play right away? Of course, you always want shooting. I think they need to address their backup big. Who's their backup 5?
They just run a 3-man rotation between Giannis,
Portis.
Yeah, please look, Ralph. If you don't take this pick, I take the pick for you.
If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm going to go with Svi Messi at number 28. I'm going to add a defender, a vertical lob threat, a young big that can play some spot minutes for me. All I need him to do is rebound, run the floor, block shots, bring the energy. So I would go with Messi from Baylor at 28 if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks.
I need you to take 29 from me.
Why? Because you want the Celtics?
Yeah, I want the Celtics pick.
All right, if I am the Minnesota Timberwolves at number 29.
29, right? Yeah.
Wow, Filipowski hasn't been drafted yet.
Yeah.
If I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves at number 29, I'm going to go with DJ Wagner. I'm going to say, you know what?
Wow.
Maybe Kentucky wasn't the best fit for you. You know, we saw what happened with Tyrese Maxey a few years back. Everybody passed on him. They didn't know whether he was a 1 or a 2. He didn't shoot the ball well from 3. They said his release was too low, but he came into the season with the accolades as a high projected top 10 lottery pick. I'm going to give you the Kentucky bump. You've been sitting here for a while. Mike Conley's getting old. So I'm going to go with DJ Wagner.
Yeah, I needed you to take that pick from me.
At number 29 if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Did me a favor. All right. 30. Boston Celtics.
Last pick. Uh-oh.
We don't have the Celtics. We, in Boston, we have no holes right now.
All right. Kyle Filipowski's in the green room. He's in the green room.
Ralph.
Are you getting him out?
Kyle got to stay. No disrespect, Kyle Filipowski. But look, we have no holes, right? 0. Good in the backcourt. Good in the front court. Al Horford is dang near my age, too. So we're going to draft a big. We just not drafting Kyle Filipowski.
Okay.
I'm out to reach. And you stretch.
All right.
I can't stretch. I hyperextend my other arm hooping, so can't do too much there. All right. 30. Hansen Yang out of China.
I like him a lot.
He got game, right?
He's got game. He's skilled. Very good passer. You're not seeing a lot of people talking about him because he's so far away in China. But no, I like him a lot. I think I would have went with Edey if I were Boston at number 30, just because at that size.
Zach Edey? Nah, look, let me cook. Hansen Yang, look.
All right, tell me or tell the audience. I know about him, but tell the audience about my man down in China.
He got game, man. You know when I say he got game, like I'm a real fan of his. Footwork in the paint.
Skilled.
Super skilled.
Positional size.
He's 7'1". He is tough.
I saw a play where he drove left, spun at the elbow, and finished with a dunk.
Yes.
Footwork.
I saw him dunk on somebody in the under 19 and do the head tap.
Got a little soul to his game. Great passer. And look, in the under 19s, Almanza couldn't guard him. Right? Almanza, I had him going in the lottery. Yep.
Right? The Americans couldn't really guard him. And he's a big dude.
Yeah.
I think it was Slovenia they played. Slovenia couldn't guard him. So like he's legit. He's super skilled. He's a good screener, Ralph. How many bigs have you seen that just whiff screens? Like he's trying to hit you on the screen.
No, he's a huge interior presence. His passing to me is what what makes him special. And it's crazy because a lot of people had Adai Mara as a lottery pick. I did not have him.
He's better. He's what we think Adai Mara should be.
Yeah, I think he may not be as good of a passer, but he is not too far behind. But I think I just think he's better overall. I think the footwork, I think that he can post up. I think he's more agile. I like him a lot.
So again, you want to throw him in Maine? That's cool. Let him develop a little bit. But again, ours getting old. God bless. Hopefully Porzingis is able to stay healthy. But in like 2-3 years, when he's 21, right? Because he's only 18.
Yeah, he's young. Yeah.
Like I think he's highly slept on, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went earlier than 30. To be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I had Houston taking Klingon, but Houston has a strong connection.
I was trying to nudge you under the table, like, yo.
Let me make my pick.
Go ahead, my fault.
All right, let me make my pick.
My fault.
All right,
my fault, Rafael.
Well, that wraps up this episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast. This was our first round mock 1.0. This is part 2. There's quite a few guys that did not get drafted. I mean, some of the names that come to mind, obviously. Kyle Filipowski didn't get drafted by us. You got Wilga Poplar, who I think could be a first-round pick.
Trevon Brazile could be a first-round
pick. I think like one of the teams, whether it's Milwaukee or Boston, I think they could take a strong look at Zach Edey. I think the guys that kind of went first round that bumped guys out was Dalton Connect, Hunter Salas, obviously Hansen.
Hey, don't sleep. Look, Bronny is coming. If that last game wasn't not a fluke, but it looked like he's getting his legs under him. He could easily bump somebody out of the first.
I'm not ready to go that far.
I don't see why not. I just drafted a 23-year-old in the first round. I mean, like, Bronny's 18, 19. He is. Yeah, I don't see why he can't be like. I see the streets throwing out. Melton.
That's my comparison. Well, we'll get to Bronny. We'll talk about Bronny at a later date, and then we can even talk about in another episode some of the guys that we don't have getting drafted in this episode. That like Deron Holmes has been productive, Kylan Boswell, Dembona, Lisa Brazile,
Tyrese
Proctor didn't get drafted. I mean, he's someone that probably would be in the in the green room. Well, like I said, that wraps up this episode. Stay tuned for our next episode where James and we're going to share our hot takes. We're just going to share some thoughts that we believe in that people may consider hot takes. You don't want to miss that episode. Once again, it's Rafael Barlowe with James Barlowe, and we are out.